In the heart of the Middle East, a nation rich in history and resources rose to prominence in the 20th century. But under one man's rule, Iraq would become a symbol of fear, war, and repression. His name was Saddam Hussein. To his supporters, he was a strong nationalist leader. To his critics, he was one of the most brutal dictators of the modern era. Saddam Hussein was born in 1937 in the village of Al-Ajah, near Tikrit in Iraq. He grew up in poverty, raised in a politically unstable country shaped by foreign influence and internal conflict. As a young man, Saddam joined the Baghdad Party, a political movement focused on Arab nationalism and unity. From early on, he was known for his ambition, discipline, and willingness to use force to achieve political goals. Rise to power. By the late 1960s, Saddam had become a key figure within Iraq's ruling Baghdad Party. He built influence through internal security, intelligence networks, and political maneuvering. In 1979, he formally became president of Iraq. Almost immediately, he began consolidating absolute power. Party rivals were purged. Dissent was eliminated. And loyalty to Saddam became essential for survival. Rule through fear. Saddam Hussein's regime was marked by strict control and widespread repression. Security services monitored the population closely. Political opposition was not tolerated. Prisons, secret police, and surveillance became central tools of governance. For many Iraqis, speaking against the government carried extreme risk. War with Iran. In 1980, Saddam launched a major invasion of Iran, beginning a brutal 8-year war. The conflict became one of the longest conventional wars of the 20th century. Millions were killed or wounded on both sides. Despite massive losses, the war ended in a stalemate. But Iraq's economy and society were deeply damaged. Internal repression. Beyond external wars, Saddam's rule was defined by internal violence. One of the most infamous examples occurred in the late 1980s, during operations against Kurdish populations in northern Iraq. Entire villages were targeted, and chemical weapons were used in attacks such as Halabja. These events remain among the most controversial and condemned aspects of his rule. The Gulf War and international isolation. In 1990, Saddam ordered the invasion of Kuwait, triggering global condemnation. A U.S.-led coalition responded in 1991, pushing Iraqi forces out during the Gulf War. Iraq faced severe sanctions and international isolation in the following years. The country's economy and infrastructure suffered heavily under prolonged restrictions and conflict. In 2003, a U.S.-led invasion of Iraq removed Saddam Hussein from power. After months in hiding, he was captured and later stood trial for crimes committed during his rule. In 2006, Saddam Hussein was executed following a conviction by the Iraqi High Tribunal. Saddam Hussein's legacy remains deeply divisive. To some, he represented Iraqi nationalism and resistance to foreign influence. To others, his rule is remembered for authoritarian control, war, and mass repression. What remains undisputed is the scale of violence and instability that defined his time in power. Saddam Hussein ruled Iraq for over 2 decades. A leader who rose through power and maintained it through force. And whose impact continues to shape the region's modern history. Subscribe for more historical documentaries and political biographies.